Welcome to our second video about leading a rehearsal. This is a continuation from our previous video where we discussed a practical method for running any sort of musical corrections that you need to in a rehearsal. This one is going to be about building a healthy rehearsal culture. And this one is wonderful and amazing because if you do well at this, you can reduce the amount that you have to apply those practical methods for correction because a lot of your team members will start applying those methods on their own. And it's an amazing sensation when you're running a rehearsal, you hear a mistake, you look over, your bass player says, I got it, I know what it is, I'm fixing it, don't worry about it. And you don't have to. And you know you don't have to. Or even your lead vocalist goes, that was me. That's a wonderful, wonderful situation. So let's get into it. First off, and we're going to do this again, why do we have a rehearsal? We have rehearsal to bring together our team's individual preparations to accomplish our goals and then to make corrections to things that distract from those goals. We have a goal in all of our music ministry job descriptions that says our objective is to encourage people in the seats to sing with us. That's the target. That is victory, failure, that's it. That's how we measure it, okay? And so when we come together for rehearsal, we're taking all those individual preparations, those things that should go together but don't always go together, and we're going to bring them together, okay? And rehearsal has extra value, okay? Rehearsal is not just a time for musical correctiveness. It's not just a time for musical development, although it is a time for musical development and it is a time for musical correctiveness. It's an amazing time to demonstrate your care for your team. It's an amazing time to disciple your people. Don't let those opportunities go to waste. Last video, we talked about those practical methods and the way that they allow us to really practice things that we would need to do if we were discipling somebody, even in spiritual matters. We would not want somebody who comes to us and is being discipled by us to say, I didn't read my Bible at all this past month, and we get together once a month to go over some discipleship things and talk about our lives together, and your response be, just try again next month, do better. That's not going to work. You need to help them. They need help with a strategy, a way to think through and process the problem and the things that are preventing them from being successful. And that's what we talked about last time. And again, rehearsals are just a great place for you to put into practice the things that you learn about discipling others. It's a great chance to be discipling people. In fact, if you have somebody you are discipling with you in rehearsal, that's an even better way to be doing life together and really growing together. It's an amazing, amazing opportunity. So with that, let's get into building this healthy rehearsal culture. And the first thing I mentioned when I talked about this was the beauty of being able to hear a mistake, look over to where that mistake happened, and have that person go, that was me, I did that, I'm fixing it. And you go, okay, I trust you. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to encourage your people to own their mistakes. People do not naturally want to wave their hand around and go, hi, everybody, I'm the problem. Nobody feels good about that, right? But what you could do is you could encourage that and even celebrate that very behavior until people start to feel more comfortable with it. Not everybody on the team feels comfortable doing that, even here at 301 with me. But there are many who do, and I value them, and I celebrate them, and I look at people and they'll go, hey, I heard a problem. I'll go, no, so-and-so looked at me, we made eye contact, we waved at one another, I know it's being dealt with, and I say, we don't need to go run that section again. I have confidence in them because they heard it just like me, they owned it just like I needed them to, and they told me they're working on it, which means they have created a strategy and a plan in their mind to fix it. So encourage that in your people. Celebrate that when your people do that. Hey, that was me. And if you're somebody on the team right now, feel free to go ahead and start the trend, right, man? Hey, I screwed up, y'all. Sorry. Just keep going. Don't even stop the song. Let it keep rolling, okay? The next thing you want to be able to do is you want to be able to simplify things. So much of what we do here has the ability to be really, really, really hard and really, really scripted and really, really specific and really, really complicated, or to be incredibly simple. We do songs that really could be played just as chord changes with light, gentle vocals on top of them, and they'd be beautiful moments that encourage people to sing. Remember that the goal is to encourage people to sing with us. So if simplifying things and doing maybe less of the style that even was originally there allows that to happen, do it. Don't be so attached to a specific thing that you're not willing to let go that you make everybody else's life really hard. Because then what do you have to do as the rehearsal leader? You have to correct all those problems that they're having until it becomes correct. It's not to say don't try experiments and don't try to push people. I try experiments frequently with my teams. I say, hey, let's try this thing out. Let's try doing some weird staccato things or some weird accented chord changes or something like that. Let's see if we can't make something out of this. But I really make it a point to only try it once or twice if it's not working or if it feels like it could work, but maybe it's going to take too much of our valuable rehearsal time, which is a scarce resource. Nope, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it the way it was. It's not worth that, right? I don't want to make everybody's life difficult over this one adjustment, even if this one adjustment could be very interesting, could encourage many people to participate, could just be a change up for the sake of not becoming rote, right? So be ready to simplify things. You could also just say, hold on to your musical ideas loosely. Next thing we need to do, we've got to hold up the standards that are set in our ministry expectations. And there are standards in our ministry expectations. Anybody who's come on to our team recently knows we expect you to prepare for an hour the week that you're serving. That's not to say we expect you to serve for an hour, right? Even just serving on one of our teams is kind of a minimum of 2 to 3 hours on the week that you're serving. No, that's an hour during the week leading up to your service. On top of that, that's an hour at home. So if people show up unprepared, we need to make sure we're saying something about people showing up unprepared and about the fact that there's an expectation for them to show up prepared. Not all of those ministry standards need to be expressed in public all of the time, but we have all had those Sundays where we come in and many on the team have not prepared that week, and we can tell, and they can tell, and we all look at one another. We try to maybe decide, oh, let's not say anything about it. No, say something about it. You're the leader. Tell them, guys, it's very obvious we haven't prepared. Even if you're one of the ones at fault, I haven't prepared either. That's an expectation on us that we all agree to. We all have to do better. And feel free to own your own mistake. People aren't going to own their own mistakes if you're not going to own yours. We've got to own them. The next thing is this. You need to encourage your team. They are often more capable than even they realize. I probably interact with this the most in the student band area, but I definitely interact with it in our adult bands as well, where people are like, that's all I got. And I look at that person telling me that's all they got, right? And I look at them standing there with their guitar, barely moving and just getting everything kind of right. Or I look at them sitting there singing and they're just kind of, barely doing their thing. And it's all okay, but it's really, they don't believe they're capable of more. They really are. They really are. It's just hard work, right? And so we have to encourage them that they have these capabilities. We have to believe in their capabilities. And then we have to push them to live up to those. One of the things I say to our student band, I say this to our vocalists and instrumentalists alike over there. I say, if you get to the end of a song and you're not, whoo, dog, you probably didn't give it all you had, right? And so that tells them kind of a way to judge whether or not they really put in the energy, really put in the effort. And you can do that with your teams as well. Maybe something a little gentler than that might be in order depending on your team that you're working with. But people are often capable of more than they realize. Don't say, they're not going to get this, so I'm just going to keep it dumb for them. Don't ever do that to your team. You're really doing them a disservice. Challenge them, push them, help them grow. If they really aren't able to do it yet, they probably will be if they just had the help. The next thing is celebrate growth. Man, if your people start owning their own mistakes, that's a joyous moment. That should be an amazing time. Thank you so much, so-and-so, Morgan, Patrick, Aaron Dickens. Thank you for raising your hand and saying, yeah, that was me. I'm the screw-up. That was amazing. You just saved us 10 valuable minutes of rehearsal time. Thank you, right? Celebrate that. Hey, Raul, man, hey, Vicky, hey, whatever your keyboard player's name is, Raquel, Richard, I think that's all of our keyboard players. That's going to age really badly in like 5 years when none of those people are on the team anymore, maybe. Whatever, whoever your keyboard player is, hey, you really went for that keyboard lick that goes in between all those chords. It's really busy, it's really beautiful, and it's really hard. Thank you for pushing yourself to that, right? Musical growth. Man, your team starts ending every song kind of, right? And you can see that they're really giving it their all. Thank you for giving it your all. Thank you. It's hard. I know it's hard. I appreciate that you're pushing yourself. Thank you for showing up prepared, showing up on time, and meeting the standards of our ministry. You haven't always done that, and we're really glad that you do that now. You have got to celebrate those things. They're worth celebrating, first off. They're an amazing blessing to you as the rehearsal leader. They're an amazing blessing to me when I'm a rehearsal leader, right? Let people know that they are blessing you. People have no idea sometimes that what they're doing is really making that much of a difference to others. And just the fact that it makes that much of a difference to you is worth sharing with them, all right? So these are just a handful of very small things that will help to create a culture that is healthy in your rehearsal space and that really prevents you from needing to do all of that musical correctiveness, right? Because you can do more things like experiment if more people go, that was me. You can do more things like work on new music if more people show up prepared, right? You can just do better job at the songs that you're already doing if more people are growing and you're celebrating that growth. So this kind of thing really, really, really will go a long way in helping the entire team that you are leading to grow and develop and become stronger. So that's the second piece of our Leading a Rehearsal series. It's just a quick 2-part. These are just some basics. This is not at all exhaustive, but these are great ways to help you get started with practical ways to work on your music and with some practical things to build a healthy culture. And with just these 2 things, you'll be really set up to learn and develop into your skills as a rehearsal leader. So please put these things into practice. Please give these things a try, and please continue to grow in your rehearsal leadership. I'm looking forward to the next thing.